7 Miraculous signs you may possess divine discernment revealed through supernatural experiences. In the quiet village of Willow Creek, whispers spread like wildfire. Villagers spoke of shadows witnessing extraordinary happenings and dreams that transcended reality. Emily, a devoted mother, felt a magnetic call in her heart. The chapel, with its rustic charm, became a haven of hope. Flickering candles illuminated the statue of Saint Michael, casting an ethereal glow. People claimed to feel the saint's presence, a divine warmth enveloping them, igniting their spirits. One evening, while praying, Emily felt a rush of wind, cool and comforting. Her eyes widened as she saw golden light weaving through the chapel's stained glass. Miracles are tangling in the air, she thought, her heart racing. Nearby, an elderly woman exclaimed, "I have been healed of my arthritis." A young girl's laughter echoed, she was found joyful, freed from the heavy burden of despair. It was as if heaven had pulled back its veil, revealing the extraordinary. As Emily walked home, she marveled at the transformative energy flowing through the village. Yet, shadows loomed. Her teenage son, Jacob, struggled against peer pressure. The town buzzed with rumors of young folks dabbling in dangerous habits. A heavy veil of worry hung over Emily as she held on to her fading faith. Prayer had once been their daily anchor, but now it slipped through their fingers like sand. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. The days turned dark as Jacob fell gravely ill, feverish and distant, slipping away from Emily's arms. Doctors spoke in hushed tones, their words heavy with hopelessness. Alone in the chapel, Emily wept, her prayers echoing in the stillness. "Lord, please protect my son," she gasped, tears pooling like desperate prayers at her feet. In that moment of divine reckoning, amidst her grief, clarity struck. She understood the healing Jacob needed was not just physical but spiritual. As she shared her revelation with the congregation, murmurs of doubt rippled through them. Healing through faith? How can we rely on the unseen? They whispered, wavering. Anguish mixed with hope and skepticism intertwined as Emily fought for unity in belief. Would they rally together for Jacob's healing? In the flickering candlelight, the tension grew. Would their love and faith be strong enough to counter the shadows engulfing Jacob? The community watched with bated breath, hearts held tight against the uncertainty. Emerging from her despair, Emily gripped the edges of the altar, looking toward the flickering lights above. Suddenly, a wave of warmth enveloped the congregation, erasing doubt and igniting hope. Would they unite in prayer? Would divine intervention spring forth from the hearts of the faithful? As the village awaited the next chapter of their intertwined destinies, a tremor of faith lingered in the air, whispering of miracles yet to come. The next morning, the sun rose with an unusual brightness, as though heaven itself smiled upon Willow Creek. The village stirred awake, a palpable sense of expectation filling the air. Emily stood on her porch, the warmth of the sun wrapping around her like a gentle hug. She sensed the eyes of her neighbors peering through their windows, curiosity mixing with concern. It was a weight they all carried. Jacob's plight had become a burden shared by all. Determined, she gathered her strength. Today was not just another day, it was a day of reckoning. She made her way back to the chapel, her heart full of hope and a prayer on her lips. Images of golden light from the night before flooded her mind. Miracles were possible. She believed that to her core. As she entered the chapel, she found the familiar flickering candles and the soothing scent of incense that seemed to invite her deeper into the sacred space. The congregation was already starting to gather, their faces etched with worry but also a glimmer of hope. Emily took a deep breath and approached the altar, her heart pounding in sync with the whispered prayers surrounding her. "Brothers and sisters," she called, her voice steady, "today we stand on the brink of something powerful. We've witnessed miracles before, we know the hand of God is upon us. Let us come together in a united front, to pray for Jacob, to believe that healing can come." Murmurs of agreement filled the air, doubt still clinging to some but hope beginning to break through. An elderly man, a figure of wisdom in the village, stepped forward. "Emily, we've seen the light before. Maybe God is using your son's struggle to bring us together," he said, his voice trembling but sincere, and so, one by one, they stepped forward. Others, inspired by Emily's unwavering faith, joined her in a circle around the altar. Each person held hands, creating an unbroken chain of unity. They began reciting prayers, their voices rising and falling like a soft wind, a chorus of faith echoing through the chapel. As the prayers were lifted, Emily closed her eyes and felt a warmth suffusing her body. A deep clarity washed over her. This was the very essence of community, to bear one another's burdens. Just as light permeates the darkest spaces, their prayers mingled and surged, growing more vibrant with each utterance. The air thickened with an unseen presence, a gentle acknowledgement that they were not alone. Suddenly, a choir of voices rose from the congregation, declaring words of healing and restoration. The rhythmic cadence of their collective faith swelled into a fervent plea, asking for divine mercy. "In your name, O Lord, we seek wholeness for Jacob. Let your love seep into his very bones." The combined passion transformed the atmosphere, shadows receding as hope flickered to life. As the congregation poured their hearts out, a soft light began to emanate from the stained glass above, a brilliant cascade of color that danced upon the altar. Gasps filled the room. "Can you see it?" a young woman whispered. It was a tangible sign of warmth that enveloped everyone present, igniting a sensation of divine presence. In that moment, Emily felt a profound connection with her community, an understanding deeper than words could portray. Miracles were indeed floating in the air, swirling gently around them, just waiting for an open heart to embrace them. Could this healing extend to Jacob? Determined, she opened her eyes, brimming with hope. The energy in the room was electric, and she knew they were on the cusp of something incredible. But what awaited them beyond the chapel doors? Would the next chapter reveal the miracle they all prayed for, or would they confront trials they could never have anticipated? The sunlight filtered through the stained glass, spilling vibrant colors onto the chapel floor. Each hue seemed to dance in harmony with the hearts of those present, merging sacred light with unwavering faith. Emily stood in the midst of her community, feeling a connection so deep it almost took her breath away. As the last prayer echoed into silence, a profound stillness filled the room. It was as if time itself paused to acknowledge their devotion. The congregation, usually filled with chatter and noise, now seemed to breathe as one, every heartbeat synchronized, every soul tuned to the same divine frequency. "Let us be still," Emily suggested, her voice a soft whisper. And so they were. The air buzzed with unspent energy, while the flickering candles cast gentle shadows, reflecting the tension of hope and fear. What next? Emily pondered this quietly. Her eyes drifted to the altar, and she felt a tremor of anticipation. Could the divine presence they sensed lead to something more than just their prayers? Just then, a ripple of movement caught her eye. An elderly woman, pale and frail, stepped forward from the gathered crowd. Her eyes glistened, and with a shaking hand, she reached for Emily. "Dear child," she spoke, her voice shaky yet clear, "my heart has sensed something stirring within. God is moving among us, but we must prepare ourselves. There is a journey ahead." Emily felt a spark ignite within her spirit. "What do you mean?" she asked, leaning closer. "The healing you pray for is not merely for Jacob. There are burdens we must release, fears we must face together. Healing begins within," the woman urged, her gaze piercing through Emily's heart as if searching for the hidden doubts. The congregation shifted, murmurs of curiosity rising like soft waves. What could this mean? "Let go of your fears, embrace the love that surrounds you," the elder continued, "that is part of the miracle." An urgent understanding settled over Emily. Could it be true that healing required more than divine intervention? Could it demand the courage to face their own shadows? With a deep breath, Emily lifted her voice again. "If we are to gather strength for Jacob, we must first relinquish the burdens of our own fears and doubts. Let us share with one another, open our hearts, and heal together. Moved by her boldness, several villagers stepped forward, ready to share their truths. A father spoke of the anxiety that gripped him as he watched his children grow. A mother revealed her own hidden shame from past failures. One person after another stepped into the light, shedding what they had carried for far too long. As they bared their souls, the aura in the room shifted. Laughter and tears intertwined until the pain became palpable, yet somehow sweet. A clear sense of strength flowed through the circle, a divine current binding them closer together. Emily felt the warmth swell within her, the profound knowing that together they were stronger. God is here, Emily declared, her heart echoing. He is in our shared stories, in our willingness to be vulnerable. Let us acknowledge our pain but not dwell in it, let us rise above. The congregation united in this purpose, hearts emerged brighter. But in their shared strength, an unanswered question lingered. Could this newfound courage bring forth the healing they all sought for Jacob? Just then, a loud crash shattered the stillness, a sudden outcry from outside. Emily's heart raced as she dashed toward the chapel doors. What awaited them? Would they find Jacob, or would a new challenge arise to test their united faith? The door creaked open slowly, and Emily's breath hitched as she stepped into the daylight. Outside, chaos swirled. A crowd gathered in front of the chapel, murmurs of shock and confusion punctuating the air. The sunlight bathed everything in a golden glow, but it felt stark against the concern etched into the faces of her neighbors. What happened? Emily called out, making her way through the throng. The crowd parted slightly, revealing a young man, trembling and pale, crumpled against the church steps. His knee was bloodied, and he clutched his side, gasping for breath. Jacob! Someone screamed, and Emily's heart dropped. She pushed forward, reaching the boy who had once been her childhood friend. What is it, Jacob? She asked, kneeling beside him. He looked up, eyes wide with fear but also clarity, as if he had just returned from a distant place. I saw him, Emily, Jacob stammered, I saw God, in my mind, in my heart. But something came over me after that. I was so afraid. The congregation fell silent again. Here was Jacob, suffering yet transformed. The very miracle they had prayed for had manifested in the most unexpected way. Jacob, Emily spoke gently, tell us what you saw. We're here with you. I was walking near the old oak tree, a place where I always felt safe, he explained. Then it was like a blinding light. I thought I was dreaming. There was a voice, soothing and powerful. It told me to cast out my fears, to trust beyond what I could see. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Emily's heart raced with purpose. But what did you see? She pressed on, his eyes darted around, searching for understanding among those gathered. It was love, all around me. And then shadows came. They clung to me, pulling me down. They are my doubts and the fears I never wanted to face. The elderly woman, who had first spoken of healing, stepped forward. Jacob, what you've shared is the essence of healing. It's not just about being free from pain, it's about facing and embracing the shadows. They often hide, waiting for the light. Emily felt the weight of her community's collective anxiety. They had shared their burdens, yet now, they faced a new reality, one that seemed daunting. Could they truly dismantle the constructs of fear that had built up within them for years? Let us embrace this moment. Emily declared, feeling the urgency pulse through her veins. We can hold space for Jacob's healing. Let us not only shield him from fear but also dismantle our own. One by one, people stepped forward. They formed a circle around Jacob, extending their hands, a network of solidarity and faith forming with every pulse of shared love. The energy in the air tingled with an unspoken promise, and then, Emily heard the whispers, like gusts of wind weaving through the crowd. Someone spoke of unforgiven pasts, another of families divided, and yet another of goals abandoned. The collective fears began to rise like the tide, and with each confession, a part of the burden floated away. As the community's voices filled the air, Emily felt a powerful shift. We are united in our pain, yes, but even stronger in our love. Let us send this healing energy to Jacob. The crowd began to chant soothing words of support, their prayers mingling with the gentle breeze. Jacob closed his eyes and leaned into the energy, an expression of hope dawning on his face, but just as a wave of calm washed over them, a piercing cry echoed from the edge of the crowd. A figure stumbled into view, a stranger, eyes wild, and desperation evident on her face. "Help!" she cried out, pointing toward the woods. "It's my daughter. She needs us." Emily's pulse quickened. They had only just begun to grasp the healing they could manifest among themselves, and now another challenge beckoned. What would this new test demand from them? Would their trust still shine in the face of uncertainty? Steeling herself, Emily stepped forward, the fire of divine purpose igniting within her. This was not just about Jacob anymore, it was about finding faith where it seemed lost. Rescuing hope where shadows loomed. "Let us go," Emily urged the congregation. "Together, we rise once more." As Emily led the way, the crowd tightened around her, an unyielding tapestry of faith and urgency. With every step toward the shadowy woods, she could feel the weight of their collective worry, but also the determination that surged among them. They were not merely a group, they were a community galvanized by purpose. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows that danced ominously among the trees. Each rustling leaf seemed to whisper a prayer, echoing the unspoken thoughts of those who followed. Emily glanced back at Jacob, still sitting on the chapel steps, a bittersweet smile on his lips. "You're not alone," she called back softly, an affirmation that resonated deeply. "Do you really think we can help her?" A voice quavered from the crowd, breaking the heavy silence. It was Sarah, a kind-hearted woman who had spent years nurturing others in their pain. Emily halted, turning to face her. "Faith," she said firmly, "is a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Even if we cannot see the way, we must be the light for those who are lost." As they pressed deeper into the woods, the air felt charged, almost electric. Emily could sense the unseen battle waging in the hearts of her companions. Doubts swirled like leaves caught in a whirlpool, but together they forged ahead. She knew each step was infused with the shared courage of this gathering. Suddenly, the stranger appeared before them, her face washed with fear. "This way," she urged breathlessly, pointing into the thicket. As they rushed along, Emily's mind raced. What was this girl's plight? What would they find waiting? Moments later, they arrived at a clearing, and the sight struck them like a jolt. A young girl lay on the ground, her eyes closed and skin pale against the vibrant green. Her breath came in shallow gasps, barely audible. With no time to waste, the woman knelt in distress beside her daughter. "Oh, darling, please," she cried, her voice cracking like fragile glass. "Stay with me." Emily felt her heart shatter with the mother's plea. This was no ordinary moment, it was a divine intersection of hope and despair. Without hesitation, she knelt beside them both, reaching out her hand. "We're here to help. Let us pray." The crowd formed a circle, their hearts synchronized in a symphony of belief and compassion. Each person's voice rose like a gentle tide, mingling their prayers. Emily felt a surge of warmth envelop her, the kind of sacred energy that made the air shimmer. "God of miracles, bring your healing light to this little one," she implored, her words flowing like a river, infused with faith. "Let your love cast away the shadows of fear and restore her strength." As their voices intertwined, a hush fell over the clearing. A palpable stillness hung in the air, as if the very creation paused to witness this moment of hope amid despair. Suddenly, the girl's eyelids fluttered, revealing bright blue pupils that seemed to gaze beyond the visible realm. An inexplicable peace washed over the crowd. "Mommy?" the girl murmured, her voice barely above a whisper, but it was enough to spark joy among those present. A sigh of relief swept through the group, laughter and tears mingling as revelatory wonder filled every heart. Yet, just as the gathered souls began to celebrate this miracle, a flicker of unease crept back into Emily's spirit. What had they awakened in that woods? Were there unseen forces still lurking just outside their light? Stay vigilant, she cautioned softly, glancing toward the edge of the clearing. We've seen the power of faith today, but we must be ready for whatever follows. The question hung in the air, a tapestry of anticipation and sacred tension. Would they find the strength to face the shadows that lay ahead? And what might be revealed as they continued on this path together? With the girl's eyes now open, the relief that flooded the clearing felt like a warm embrace amidst the chilled air. But Emily's heart remained heavy, her spirit keenly aware that they had ventured into a realm where light and darkness intertwined. The miracle they witnessed was a victory, yes, but it felt like just the beginning. "Mommy, I feel funny," the girl whispered, her brow furrowing as if reading the unspoken fears around her. The mother held her close, tears streaming down her cheeks, as she rocked the little one gently, as if trying to shield her from any harm that might still linger in the shadows. Emily shared a glance with Sarah, who stood nearby, her eyes wide with uncertainty. "What do we do next?" Sarah mouthed, echoing the silent question swirling in all their minds. "Together," Emily replied softly, yet firmly. "We stay united. We hold on to this moment and claim it." As if attuned to her words, the crowd began to murmur prayers again. Each voice blended into a melodic echo that seemed to fill the space, pushing back against the fear hovering at the edge of their sanctuary. They were shields of faith, standing against unseen threat. "God of hope, guide our hearts," Emily prayed aloud, her voice steady and bold. "May your presence remain with us as we seek comfort and protection." But even as they prayed, a shadow passed through the trees, dark and elongated. A chill swept through the clearing, extinguishing some of the warmth they built through prayer. The laughter and joy that had just moments ago surrounded them waned, replaced by a flicker of trepidation. "What was that?" whispered a man at the back of the crowd, his voice trembling slightly. The anxious energy rippled through them like a cold draft. "Stay together," Emily commanded, refocusing the group's attention. "In unity, we draw strength." With every shared prayer, with every intention sent to the heavens, Emily felt a lightness begin to replace the fear. Their voices were not mere sounds, they were declarations of their faith and strength. If light had driven away darkness once, it could do so again. The girl squirmed in her mother's embrace, only to rest her head against her chest. "Mommy, I'm scared." "Don't be afraid," her mother whispered back, brushing the hair from the little one's forehead. "We're surrounded by love. God is here with us." A deep sense of unity took hold of Emily, wrapping around them like a cocoon. They were bound beyond seen relationships connected by trust, belief, and the very essence of hope. As they all prayed fervently, Emily raised her head, scanning the treetops, ready to confront whatever lurked in the unseen. "Show us the way forward," she cried out, her words ringing out like a clarion call. Suddenly, a flicker of light broke through the dense foliage, illuminating the clearing with a golden hue. It felt welcoming, almost tangible, as though it extended an invitation to explore the mysteries ahead. "Look!" Sarah gasped, pointing toward the radiant light that shimmered like the sun breaking through storm clouds. "Is that?" Another voice trailed off, uncertainty mixing with wonder as they peered toward the source. Emily felt the stirrings of destiny beckoning them forward. Was this the divine guidance they had prayed for, an answer to the questions lingering in their hearts? Or was it merely an illusion meant to distract them from the shadows that still lingered just beyond reach? "Let us find out," Emily urged, her spirit ignited by curiosity and faith. But would they emerge from the woods transformed, or would they uncover greater fears lurking just beyond the light? The path lay before them, shrouded in divine mystery, waiting to reveal its secrets. The moment hung in the air, charged with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Emily stepped toward the glowing light, heart pounding like a drum of faith. With each step, the whispers of the crowd behind her swelled, threading together their prayers in a steadfast bond. God, let your presence guide us, she murmured, feeling the warmth radiate from the light enveloping her. Each flicker danced like angels beckoning her forward, each glimmer a promise, maybe even an indication of what lay ahead. Emily, wait. Sarah's voice cut through the reverie. Emily turned, taking in her friend's wide eyes filled with concern. What if it's dangerous? Emily paused, sensing the weight of the hesitation in the air. Shadows loomed not only in the forest but also in their hearts. Yet within her, a fire sparked a conviction that they were called to move forward, to embrace the unknown with courage. Faith is not the absence of fear, Sarah, she replied quietly, but the action taken despite it. The words resonated within her, firming her resolve. Together, we cannot falter. The crowd shifted, hearts racing and minds swirling with varying degrees of worry and anticipation. They saw the light but felt the darkness clawing at the edges of their conscience. It was a paradox. The illumination revealed possibilities but also the depth of their fear. The girl nestled in her mother's arms glanced nervously at the shimmering glow. I want to go there but I'm still scared. Her soft voice interrupted the tense atmosphere, a symbol of pure innocence, yet also of the raw emotional journey they all faced. Leaning down, Emily met the girl's gaze. You know, sometimes God shows us light because he wants us to find our strength within it. Let us take a step together, shall we? She offered her hand, a bridge between the girl's wavering heart and the divine invitation calling them forward. With a small, hesitant nod, the girl reached out. Slowly, others began to form a line behind Emily, drawn in by the unshakable light. Each step seemed to drown out the fears, replaced with an increasing sense of unity among the believers. As they walked, Emily felt an inexplicable peace washing over her. Each footfall was like a heartbeat, and even the woods around them seemed to whisper encouragement. You are not alone, you are not alone. The sound of their footsteps mingled with the echoes of their prayers. Suddenly, the air vibrated, and the light pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Emily faltered, eyes wide. Hold together. She called, sensing the moment shift. Believe that we are being led for a reason. A collective breath surged through the group, fortified by faith. Just then, the light expanded, illuminating the path ahead, revealing intricate symbols etched onto the ground. Intricate patterns as ancient as time itself spoke of healing, hope, and miracles yet to unfold. Look! Sarah shouted, her voice trembling with astonishment. These markings, they're like a map. They could lead us, but to where? Emily felt her heart leap into her throat. They had crossed into something deeper, something that flickered between this world and the next. Maybe it's not just a map, she pondered aloud, but a message, a call to discover our purpose amid trials. Just as the realization sank in, the shadows flickered again, and that chill returned, wrapping itself around them like a shroud. One by one, faces turned anxious, uncertainty clouding their spirit. Stay true, dear ones. Emily cried out, her strength unwavering. We command the light to shine through the darkness. But from within the cover of shadows emerged a figure, whose presence sent a ripple of unease through the crowd. Gasps fell silent, as the mystery before them finally unveiled itself. Would this figure bring more questions than answers? What divine truth awaited them in the depths of the unknown, hidden behind layers of fear and wonder? The path still unfolded, beckoning them to traverse its uncharted territory. The figure stepped forward, its form cloaked in shadow, but the aura around it shimmered with a palpable energy that made the air tingle. Emily could sense the mix of fear and curiosity flowing through the crowd. Eyes brimmed with unshed tears, breaths quickened as they awaited the figure's revelation. Who are you? Sarah finally managed to ask, her voice steady but shaken. The crowd leaned forward, drawn in by both awe and apprehension. I am a messenger, the figure responded, its voice smooth yet commanding. Sent to guide you through the twilight of uncertainty. You have crossed a threshold, and now you stand at the brink of awakening. Emily's heart raced at the notion. An awakening, what did it mean? Around her, the crowd exchanged glances, grasping the weight behind the messenger's words. Yet, hope flickered alongside fear. What truth lay embedded in this moment? What must we do? Emily asked, summoning her courage. Her voice, though small, rang with determination. The word "we" was a promise of togetherness, strength amid vulnerability. You must look within. The true essence of this journey lies not in external revelations, but in the wellspring of faith that resides inside you, the figure replied. The light grew stronger, illuminating the paths carved upon the earth. Follow the symbols carved here, they hold keys to your destiny. The group stood transfixed, captivated by the figure's presence and the promise of what's to come. Intricate shapes gleamed at their feet. Each symbol pulsed with resonance, echoing a rhythm that aligned with their hearts. Emily stepped forward, kneeling to trace one of the markings with trembling fingers. As she did, a wave of warmth surged through her. It was as if the ground itself spoke back to her, enveloping her spirit in divine whispers. Do you feel that? She breathed, looking back at the crowd. A palpable sense of anticipation filled the air, a collective recognition of something sacred unfolding. More hands joined hers, each believer seeking to connect with the divine. The air thickened with energy, the light around them swirling like a dance, beckoning them closer. Emily caught Sarah's eye, and in that fleeting glance, they shared an unspoken understanding. This was divine intervention, perhaps the very moment they were meant for. As they focused on the symbols, they began to see colors bloom, vibrant hues painting a narrative: the trials they had faced, the faith they had upheld, the love that tied them together. With each revelation, a story unraveled, telling of their journey, a journey infused with hope and healing. But suddenly, darkness surged from the edges, creeping in as if to snuff out their light. Emily felt the weight of shadows pressing in on them, the chill like icy fingers reaching for their hearts. Don't lose faith, she shouted, rallying the group. We are stronger together. Trust in the light. In that instant, the crowd united, whispering prayers, their voices melding into a symphony of hope. The warmth of their hearts ignited, pushing back against the encroaching shadows. The messenger's eyes glinted with approval, as if they sensed the collective power rising. This is your gift, they said. When darkness threatens, remember the strength within you. Then, with a wave, the figure stepped back into the shadows, leaving the group abuzz with energy and curiosity. What do we do now? Someone murmured. Emily stood, heartbeat soaring. The symbols, we need to decipher them. They can guide us through this darkness. But even as she spoke, shadows lingered, looming like unwelcome specters. What would they discover in their quest? What awaited them at the end of this illuminated path? The questions danced in the air, tantalizing and profound. Each step forward carried the weight of uncertainty. The journey was only beginning, and darkness loomed large. Would they uncover the miraculous truths concealed in the light? What divine messages awaited their hearts? As they gathered around the symbols, a brave spirit ignited within Emily. Emily felt the ground tremble with the energy radiating from the symbols. She was acutely aware of the breaths shared among her peers, rhythmically synchronized with the warm light that swirled around their gathering. They stood on the brink of something magnificent. What do these symbols mean? A voice echoed in the intimate space. The words hung in the air, heavy with yearning and desire for understanding. Emily turned towards the swirling shapes etched into the ground, desperately hoping for clarity. As if in response to their question, the symbols began to glow more intensely. Each one pulsed, casting a gentle light that wrapped around them, caressing their skin like a comforting embrace. The light had weight, a promise that the answers would soon reveal themselves if they dared to look deeper. With a new resolve, Emily knelt again, gently laying her palms upon the warm earth. As she concentrated, images began to emerge within her mind, snippets of memories intertwined with lessons learned. Each symbol seemed to draw forth an emotion, a moment of her journey. Courage, she whispered, recalling a time she had faced her fears. The memory bubbled up, vibrant and alive. Faith, she continued, her heart swelling as she remembered a time of prayer that had brought her peace amid chaos. Others followed suit, kneeling beside her, tracing their fingers over the symbols. Voices rose in fervent whispers, sharing their own stories of love, loss, and the deep-seated belief that had carried them through. Each story was a thread, weaving a rich tapestry of hope. "Look!" Sarah pointed excitedly to the symbol shaped like rising flames. "This is about transformation. We've all been changed through our trials." In that moment, realization washed over the group like a tide. They had each undergone transformations. The darkness they had encountered had not come to steal from them but rather to refine them, to burn away the distractions that had once kept them from their true selves. Emily felt the warmth of an ancient promise echo within her spirit. "We are meant for this, we are meant for more than we know," she breathed out, the words spilling from her heart. It was a revelation that laid bare their collective potential. Then, as their voices intertwined in a prayer of gratitude, a brilliant shaft of light blessed them from above. It snaked through the treetops, illuminating their faces, revealing sparkling tears of joy that had escaped the corners of their eyes. From the depths of the light, the figure re-emerged, its presence solidifying once more before them, a silhouette framed by the radiance enveloping them. "You have unlocked a part of you," it declared, and its voice echoed like a bell chiming in the quiet after a storm. "Every symbol you touch carries the echoes of divine truths. These are not mere markings, they are invitations to awaken the strength within you." Emily felt her heart swell with pride. This wasn't just her journey, it was theirs. They were bound by shared experiences and a newfound understanding of divine guidance. "Remember," the messenger's voice faded softly, "the world will challenge your light. Stand firm in the truths you've discovered. Your journey has just begun." As the messenger stepped back, shadows once again stretched like fingers, but now they were different. The darkness felt less menacing, transformed by the warmth of the truth they had uncovered. "How do we carry this forward?" someone finally asked, the vulnerability evident in their tone. "We live it," Emily proclaimed, an electric thrill surging through her. "We trust in what we've discovered and share it. This light, it's meant to shine in the dark." But as they exchanged eager, determined glances, a new question loomed larger. Would they understand the full extent of their calling? What awaited them on this path they had chosen together? With hearts ignited, they stepped boldly toward the symbols, ready to embrace the next unfolding revelation, intrigued by what divine encounter lay just beyond their reach. The atmosphere in the woods hung thick with expectation as the congregation stood on the verge of transformation. Each twinkling symbol pulsed with the warmth of their collective faith, illuminating a path previously hidden in shadow. Emily felt a surge of determination wash over her. They were not just a casual gathering, they had evolved into a powerful force, united by their shared journey of healing and hope. "Let us keep this momentum alive," Emily urged, her voice ringing with certainty. "We have awakened something divine. We must trust in the light we carry." With renewed courage, they began to trace the symbols, allowing their fingers to graze the warm surface. A soft humming filled the air, as their whispers of truth intertwined, creating a sacred symphony of faith. Each pulse ignited revelations, each hue of light illuminated struggles they had faced individually yet conquered together as a community. "Compassion," Sarah breathed, recalling a moment of vulnerability when she lost her child. Instead of succumbing to despair, she had channeled her pain into a mission to help others, spreading love and understanding. "Strength," came another voice, an elderly man speaking of the suffering from years gone by, yet finding companionship and solace within the village. Miracles sparked in the hearts of every villager, each one erupting with stories that danced through the air, weaving a rich tapestry of their lives. They held hands, forming an outward circle, the light radiating around them like an embracing shield. Suddenly, a faint whisper like wind swept through the clearing. Emily felt it before anyone else, an invitation from the divine. "Do you hear that?" she asked, and the crowd fell silent, each listener straining to catch the sounds of creation's song. With unwavering resolve, Emily stepped forward, her heart beating in harmony with the wind. "Let us share this light with the world. Imagine what we can do with the gifts we've uncovered. Let's take these divine truths and share them, not just to keep them for ourselves. Nervous murmurs rose, interspersed with excitement. But what if others don't understand? A voice quivered from the back. Then we show them, Emily replied firmly, her spirit ignited by the push of the unseen breeze. Sometimes, the greatest acts of love come from the least expected places. We have to be the shining light that guides them. With hands held tightly, they began to recite the miracles they had felt and witnessed together: a mother finding strength, a father overcoming despair, a child healing their fears. They prayed in unison, their voices merging with the whispers of the air, sending out waves of divine energy spreading beyond their immediate surroundings. What a powerful force we can be! Sarah exclaimed, her eyes glistening with tears of conviction as she glimpsed the light in the distance. It expanded, revealing an ethereal path, beckoning them into the next chapter of their lives. As the gold-tinted light enveloped them, the shadows began to dissipate, driven away by the warmth of their faith. Each step forward was a declaration. They were not merely voyagers lost in the darkness but rather bearers of hope. God is with us, Emily cried, taking the first step toward the glowing pathway that unveiled ahead, the symbols guiding them like a heavenly map. The crowd followed, resonating with her words until they were swept into a collective embrace of joy and anticipation. With each stride, the forest transformed around them. Colors bloomed like vibrant flowers sprouting from barren soil. Light danced upon their faces, and laughter filled the air, a celebration of faith on the horizon. As they walked further into the light, a comforting realization came over them: the journey would not be without trials, but they were ready, bound together by their shared hope and resolve to face whatever came next. Onward, dear ones! Emily breathed, leading the way with unwavering confidence. This is just the beginning. As they disappeared into the resplendent light, the shadows had lost their power, and an inexplicable peace enveloped the village of Willow Creek. Transformations awaited them, sparkling in the distance as they embraced their destined divine purpose. It was a new chapter in their lives, a change forged through despair, healing, and ultimately, faith. Now, dear friends, this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will uplift your spirit. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread the light further. Comment with your reactions and testimonies about this unforgettable ending. Let your voice be heard. And don't wait even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. You need to spread the divine message of hope. True servants of God understand the importance of standing together in faith.